Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, or if you are new, welcome. My name is Mandy, and I'm here to talk about the Sephora sale. I'm going to do a full face of products that you can get at Sephora. I am gonna list my last Sephora recommendations video down in the description box, and I may list some other favorites that I have within each category if I have room. But I'm also gonna be talking about, am I even gonna shop the sale this year? What's changed? What are some pros? What are some cons for shopping the Sephora VIB sale? So if you want to see my opinions on that and how I got this look, let's jump in. I'm going to start with the Prada Reveal Skin Optimizing Foundation. This is in the shade MN40. I have to take it out of the refill to see. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit dark, but I'm going to make it work. The thing about this foundation is I did not like it when I first got it. I didn't like the dry down, I didn't like how it wore, and it just goes to show you how quickly things can change with what you like and don't like, because the more I wore this foundation, the more I appreciated it. Now, my favorite way to wear it is mixing it with another foundation, specifically the Fenty Hydrating Foundation, but it is very pretty on its own as well, and it is one that I feel like if you don't like powder, you could get away with not powdering this. It does have a scent, but I don't find it lingers. There has really truly only ever been one foundation that I found the scent lingers, and it's the Lancome Powder Foundation. Other than that, if a foundation has a scent to it, it doesn't stick around for me. I know other people say different, because I've had some comments saying they just couldn't get past the fact that the scent stayed around all day. I've just never personally had that issue. Now let's talk about if I'm going to be shopping this sale. I'm going to use the Estee Lauder concealer. This is probably the first time where I haven't been overly proactive about the sale, meaning, you know, usually when I find out when the sale is going to be, I will start working on my cart. I'll start putting stuff in. I'll start going to my loves list that I, add to throughout the year, see if there's anything that I really want to try out of it and add it to my cart. And then at the end of the time, so basically right before the sale starts, I have this huge cart that I will then go in and kind of narrow down. I found out about the dates of this sale a long time ago, probably when all y'all did too, probably over a month ago. And I didn't even touch my cart until like 2 days ago. And I don't know if it's because I just feel like I'm really happy with what I've got and there's not been any new launches that have completely wowed me, or if there's I feel like there's a lot of stuff that maybe is on my wish list that I can't get at Sephora, maybe brands that are either more indie or more luxury that I just can't get on the Sephora website or in store. I'm gonna use my Givenchy Prisme Libre setting powder in the shade 4. I do love this setting powder, but it does get hard pan. I work around it, but it is something to note. Or if it is the fact that I know that around the same time the Sephora sale happens, the majority of the brands that are available at Sephora are going to be doing a sale of their own, most of the time more than 20%. And I get why they do that, because they want people to buy straight from their site, direct to consumer from their own site, because then they don't have to, pay the exorbitant percentage that Sephora takes for selling something at Sephora. So they can afford to, do a higher discount and probably still make more money on their end. So I get why they do it. I'm gonna use my Armani bronzer in medium cool. But here's some reasons why, okay, maybe it's not as easy to buy direct from these retailers, even at a higher discount. Because maybe I just want one thing. And maybe they don't have free shipping unless you spend a certain amount of money, which typically is the case. Whereas in Sephora, I'm Rouge, at least this year. I don't know if I will be next year, but this year. And, I can get everything free shipping. It doesn't have to be, hit a certain dollar amount. So if I just want one thing, I can go in and just get one thing. And if everything in my cart is from a different brand, taking those orders to those different brand websites will likely result in more money in shipping, which kind of counteracts the additional discount. I took out my CL liquid blush and I did powder. I don't know what I was thinking. I wasn't thinking. I think that's the point. I was talking and not thinking. So I'm going to use I also pulled out my Rare Beauty, the Illuminating Blush in Cheer. I love this stuff. I don't talk about it enough, but I only use it if I'm not going to be using a highlighter, because that and a highlighter together is too much. This is also really pretty on the eyes. I actually have another color of this in my cart as a potential purchase, but I think I'm going to use my Givenchy blush in the shade 2 Taffeta Rose, or Taffeta Rose. So anyways, that is another reason why I might be more tempted to shop at Sephora if we're talking about shipping prices. I really hate to pay for shipping. I don't know anybody who likes to pay for shipping when you know you can get it for free shipping somewhere else. And then some people might find that the rewards at Sephora are, you know, better than individual websites. However, it is worth checking into the individual websites to see what rewards they offer. A lot of times it's way better than Sephora. Sephora, in my opinion, is maybe the least tempting as far as rewards go. Yeah, you get points and you can, you know, build up enough points to get a gift card, but trying to get that gift card on the Tuesdays and Thursdays when they launch it or whatever before they sell out is not easy. It's definitely not like Ulta. To me, Ulta is the best with the points. But some people may find that Sephora rewards are worth it. The points are. Again, don't miss out on looking at the individual websites for that, because a lot of times they have point systems and a lot of times their free samples with orders are way better. I have a liquid and cream highlight. I haven't chosen which one I'm going to use yet, but I need to buff before I do anything. This one is always on my recommendations list. Anytime you can get a discount on Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder, I highly recommend picking it up. I know I recently talked about the holiday meteorites. I used to always buff with meteorites when I had them, and I got a lot of questions on that video saying, you know, do you like the meteorites for buffing more than Hourglass? I still prefer the Hourglass when it comes to buffing out my face. Now for setting, I prefer the meteorites. So going back to shopping the sale, I'm probably gonna shop the sale, but it's also probably gonna be the smallest cart that I've had in a sale in a long time. I am feeling overwhelmed. I've talked about that a lot recently. Do I use Mascara Creole or my Dior Maximizer? I'm gonna use Mascara Creole. About just the launches, the constant launches. And quite honestly, nothing is new under the sun anymore. There's just so many different iterations of all makeup. That's not to say I'm not gonna come on here and review new makeup. I still enjoy new makeup. I still like to see how it compares to previous launches. But every time I see something about a new launch, most of the time it doesn't interest me, because I feel like I already have something similar probably 4 times over in my collection. But let's do lips, and then I'll kind of share with you the things that are in my cart that I am contemplating purchasing. I need something on these lips before we do eyes. So I'm gonna take the Merit lip liner. This is in Beverly Hills. This is more of like a glossy lip liner, so it may not be as long lasting. And I'm gonna swatch it for you. That's what it looks like, but it's not showing up on my lips as much just because it's kind of the same shade. I also have Tabak, which is like a brown color, and that's nice. But if you don't like anything glossy, if you want something more matte and more longer lasting, I would suggest the Makeup Forever lip liners. I use those consistently in my professional kit. I love a Lawless gloss. The Forget the Filler gloss has always been a favorite of mine ever since I first tried it. Nudie is probably my favorite color, although they have one I want to try. I think it's Strawberry Shortcake. That one looks really good. Glaze. I have one in my cart. I'll have to look. But these are the 3 that I am using the most right now. So there is Candy Sky, Dazette, and Daisy Pink. So the Candy Sky and the Dazette are more of that like almost iridescent finish to it, kind of frosty even. And the Daisy Pink is just more of their like regular. Now again, Nudie is my favorite. I don't have one right now. I also use that in my kit, so I have one in my kit, but I'm not gonna use that one. I probably need to re-up on that as well. Again, Lawless is one of those ones that I know they do much higher, like 30%, I think they did last year on their site. So I might hold out for that one, but I also need to check what the minimum is for shipping. I'm gonna do Candy Sky. I know y'all don't like my nude lips, but I do. Okay, now we need to get something on these eyes, but while I do that, because it's gonna be a super simple eye look, per usual, let's go through some of the things I have in my kit. I'm gonna be using my Merit Shadow in Vachetta. This is something I have in my kit. They came out with like a limited edition, I think it was last year, maybe around the holidays, set with one of their single shadows, but it was in a shimmer shade. And I think it was the one I have in my cart. Glacé. I want to try that because I love these eyeshadows so much. So that is in my cart, but I don't think I have any other eyeshadows. Right now, I have 8 things in my cart and I will take at least 2 out. So again, I'm not gonna have a huge haul. I don't need any re-ups of anything like restocks except for my Shiseido cotton. Y'all, I go back and forth. I try other cotton and I'm like, this will do, but nothing is quite like the Shiseido cotton. And even though it has gone up in price every single year, I still like to get at least 1 pack during the sale. That's the only thing that's a restock, something that I already have that I know is about to be out. I'm gonna go ahead and get that for restock. I've thought about getting some Davines products because they are not cheap and I do like them for my hair. But also I'm like, do I need shampoo right now? No, I have so much shampoo. I have so much conditioner. I have so much heat protectant. I don't need it. And probably by the time I run out of all that stuff, it's gonna be another sale in April. So I should be fine. I'm gonna use, on top of that, the Sona like glitter shadow from Kulfi. I have not decided whether or not I like this, but I haven't really played with it enough and just thought it would be pretty to kind of top that shadow. I have 2 foundations in my cart, and this is probably the thing that I'm gonna take at least one of them out because heavens knows I don't need a foundation and I'm so stuck on my favorites right now. I don't wanna get one, spend money on it, even if it is on sale, just to have it sit there because I can't stop using my current favorites. But the first one is the Armani Skin Tint. It's still listed as new on the Sephora site, but it's not really new. It's been out for a hot minute. I just didn't jump on the train when it first launched. But I tend to like Armani base products, so I thought I would give that one a try. And then I also have the Givenchy Glow Serum Blurring Foundation in my cart. When I just put in foundation in Sephora, it typically will come up with their best sellers first, and the Givenchy was the second one listed. So I thought, well, maybe I'll try that one out too. I have 9 things in my cart. I also have 2 bronzers in my cart. And this is another thing that I'm like, I think I'm gonna take one out because I don't need 1 bronzer. I certainly don't need 2, but maybe y'all can help me out. I have the new Givenchy bronzer, the one that looks very similar to the powder. It's got, 4 different shades that you mix together. And then I have the new Hung Van Gogh bronzer, which everybody has been absolutely raving about. This is the Makeup Forever eye pencil in Limitless Brown. So again, I don't need both of those by any means. So if y'all have tried one of them, or especially both of them, and you have a preference, let me know. Because I do think I'm gonna get at least one of those. And then I do have, again, one of those Rare Beauty blushes in my cart. I don't know if I'm gonna get it. I do really love that formula, but I don't need another blush. Like, I just have so many favorites right now. So that's a maybe. I'm gonna take that Merit shadow on my lower lash line. And then the only other thing I have in my cart, I have 2 things. This is Givenchy. I didn't even know this was a thing. I don't remember who else I'll talk about it, but I was like, oh, that looks like I would like it. The Rose Perfecto Hydrating Tinted Lip Balm and Gloss. So it's kind of like, it looks like, honestly, like something I would have had in the 80s and 90s as a kid, that like swirled, almost like ice cream swirl look to it. But I have seen it being used and it's really pretty. And of course I have Milky Nude in my cart because why not? Mascara. I have 2 mascaras that I always recommend from Sephora, one of which I currently have open, so I'm gonna use it. It's the Ilia Limitless Lash. I love this mascara. Another one of my favorites is the Tower 28. Now, I bought this last week from Credo because they were having a 20% off sale. I didn't even think to look and see if Sephora had it, but it didn't matter because I was buying some other things from Credo. But this is the Tower 28 Mascara Duo, and it comes black and brown. And it is $29 before the discount, so it's super affordable because I think one of these is 20 bucks. So you're getting $40 worth of mascara for a little over $23, almost getting one free. So also highly recommend that. But today I'm going to be using the Ilia because I love how this makes my lashes look. This one is more lengthening than volumizing, but it still gives some good volume. I get asked all the time when I wear this mascara what false lashes I'm wearing. That's how like long and gorgeous it makes your eyelashes look. And it's probably the easiest mascara I have ever used to remove, which makes a huge difference to me, but it still doesn't flake or smudge throughout the day. Let's finish off with fragrance. And y'all, I was searching through the site. Oh, I'm stuck. And they have the new Shalimar La Essence or La Essence. I have not stopped talking about this, and for good reason. I bought this one on the Grwm site. Really good samples, rewards on the Grwm site. So definitely check into that as well. And then they sent me a big bottle. And I was contemplating getting a backup, but they have this on Sephora and you can get it for 20% off. It is my favorite Shalimar release that I have smelled. I have the original and 4 flankers, and this is my favorite. It's got a little bit of that Shalimar DNA, but it's also got some sweetness to it. Vanilla, a little bit of iris, but it's not as sweet as the iris flanker was. It's a little bit deeper. It's just phenomenal. When I saw that you could get this on the Sephora site, I was like, I have to talk about it once again. Now, the only other thing I have in my Sephora cart that I haven't talked about yet, and I don't know if I'm going to keep this in there, is very random. Oh, I have the birthday gift because my birthday was in October. It is from a company called Maine, and it's the Cotton Candy Dry Texture and Hair Volume Spray. My hair has been so flat lately. No matter what I use, no matter the stuff that I used to use to give it volume is just not working anymore. And I've heard really good things about not only how this works, but also how it smells. It's $26 retail. So I'm like, well, with 20% off, it might be worth trying. That's the only other thing that's in my cart other than what I have already talked about though. So again, I will have everything that I talked about and used in this video linked down below. I appreciate it if you choose to use my links. They are affiliate links and they do help support my channel. And check out my last recommendation video too, because that has a lot of other ideas for you. So let me know what you are planning on getting, or if you're planning on getting anything at all, down in the comment section. Thank y'all so much for watching. I will see you on my next video, and I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day.